All right, we are back and better than ever. As you can see, we have one half of the Misfits right now because, we'll just leave it at that. He'll be here shortly. Maybe not. We don't know. Look at me. I look like a fool holding this thing. But it's okay. We're going to make it work. So, what are you laughing at? Look, he got locked in the room. Look, he locked in. Man. Ooh, look at them hands. Ciao. All right. This is going to be a bad starting to this video.
What?
Because this is not my forte.
Okay, people. What's going on?
Yeah, I was about to say, you always do the entrance.
Misfits back in the building.
Look at that.
Troy. What's going on, y'all?
Did you point at me when you said Troy and then point at yourself for dyslexic? Anyway.
We are one and the same, baby. What
That's
you
right.
mean? We doing our hype man thing. You know what I'm saying? We doing our excitement thing.
I don't know if it's your TV. I'm sorry. I'm squirreling right now, but I look like I have a shadow on me.
You think it's you?
I don't know if it's the TV or if it's if there's no the lighting is. It don't look that way on there. All right, cool. We'll roll with it. It's okay.
Yeah, that cameraman, he got all that on in the background.
He got.
Because he turned the whole thing. I moved it already.
How is that in there? Normally that's not in there.
Because he moved it. See?
You fixed it. Okay. Hey, yeah. Look, he's been on vacation. I guess you could say temporary leave.
You a real piece of work.
We're gonna have to get on him.
Real piece of work.
So
we got to do
is that the Facebook?
Yeah, that's
all right. Cool. Keep Facebook on there. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So anybody that's online, by the way, don't forget to hit us up on YouTube. Yep. Like and subscribe over there.
Anybody on Facebook, go over to YouTube.
Absolutely.
Like, subscribe.
Yeah, you can still
share
comment on Facebook and stuff, but we definitely try to hit up the YouTube stream for the algorithm. It helps out a lot.
Yes, and please, when you guys come in, send a comment. Send something in the chat. Just say, hey, anything like that.
Come in trolling, whatever you're doing.
That's right. Yeah. That's what we do. So, weekend recap.
I was checking my show on music.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be a fun show. All right, so weekend recap. Let's get it. So
let's start with you.
Me? Yeah. All right. So I worked this weekend. Didn't do anything sports related.
Okay.
Through the weekend. Last night I went to Epic Axe Wake Forest.
Yep.
Shout out to them for hosting Barholio Cornhole tournaments every Tuesday night. From registrations at 6:30, bags fly at 7. So if you're interested, make your way up there. We are possibly going to come to Clayton and try to do one in Clayton as well if you're around. Anybody watching that's local. But so I went up there and first competitive cornhole, actual sanctioned tournament, because I've done a couple other tournaments that had no sanctions, no nothing. They were just regular, just fun tournaments. Like I did one at there's this thing called the Man Expo, which they just now changed to the Expo.
Politically correct.
Yes, I did a tournament there, won it, and won a set of boards. So for the first competitive one, I was nervous. I didn't have bags. Didn't really have nothing because I ordered some. Was hoping they'd come in. Was very worried. Went out. It's a random. They call it blind draw, so you get paired up with somebody random. Got paired up with a guy. Jerry was his name. Very nice guy, and we ended up 5th.
Yeah. Now, guys, I did get a chance to go see him play. I went and watched him play, and he's being modest. He did a very good job. Like, they had some killers in there. People who could just drop that thing, like airmailing it right through.
Yeah.
But he did a very good job. I was proud of him. I was he's a little hype man in there
yes,
going, let's go. Everybody was wondering how he got a hype man.
That's right.
Because that's my guy. He was in there killing it. Cornhole. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
trying to make sure I don't say nothing inappropriate, but he was hitting it right in the cornhole. All right? And so what I don't understand, though, is about the cornhole bags.
Okay.
How you have a cornhole bag and there's no corn in the cornhole bag?
Yeah, the professional, the ACL ones, I have no corn. They have
no corn. It's like a rosin.
Rosin, yeah. again, have not looked enough into it. I know the bags, obviously, you saw that I do have that I throw for at home and stuff. They actually have corn in them. So, but yeah, hopefully our bags will come in. I was looking at more bags today as well.
Okay.
Because I was, after learning about speed and sides having different speeds, I was looking for a slower, heavier bag.
Got it.
And I did find a set of kill shots that were a 3.6.
So you think a heavier bag?
I think so, yeah. So the slow side was a 3, the fast side was a 6. The ones I used last night were like a 6 and a 9.
Yeah,
so
I like the cornhole tournament mostly because I could walk around and troll people while he was playing. It was great.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. People were so uncomfortable because I was too much energy for the sport, and I was doing what I could to throw people off the game. You know, I need my guy to finish at the top. You know what I'm saying?
So I have a little question for you that I thought of afterwards. You know, because we wrote up and stuff.
Right.
How do you feel from seeing your first cornhole experience? Compare that to axe throwing for me. In sense of the people, the camaraderie, and just the overall experience. Because I've got a couple things that I felt and saw that were kind of shocking that maybe the axe world could sort of inherit, maybe.
Really? Like what?
So, cornhole, you have multiple sanctions. So, like Barholio.
Oh, you mean like there's more sanctioning groups?
Groups, yes.
Okay.
But they all count towards your ACL profile. So, you get your ranking and everything, and it still counts.
So, wait. So, it's like saying ITF and Waddle came together, but it all counts towards one axe.
Yes.
But they can do that because the rules are the same no matter what, though.
Right.
So
yeah, right. So that they could do,
like
but
multiple venues.
Right. But for Waddle, I was saying that would be cool if they had more. I don't think it's big enough yet because, I mean, heck, this was the 3rd week, and I think they had 20 people signed up for this tournament. So I do know that the cornhole is a lot bigger in this area, and I think all over, honestly. I think it is a lot more popular and has a lot more backing, but I do feel like there's some takeaways from it that possibly could be used to help promote axe throwing.
No, like for me personally, as a fan walking around, I did not see a correlation to where the two sports could learn something from one another. I do feel like there is a lot of differences there because, well, based upon the event that you saw, I guess the closest thing I could say would be like, it was like a duels tournament, right?
Yeah.
Because you had partners that came up, and it was a random draw duels tournament. It's like saying I went to a duels tournament without a partner, and then they randomly gave everybody a random partner. Now, the reason I don't think that works well with axe throwing is because you're talking about throwing expensive axes at a target.
Right, yeah.
That, and there's too much that can go wrong in that standpoint.
Yeah, that's true.
I do like, I like what Waddle has as far as the camaraderie with the people. Because when you go into a venue, even if these people don't really know each other, they talk. You have conversations, you chat it up with somebody, even if you think that person's annoying, me, and I'm just talking your head off. Sorry, Gary. I was talking Gary Knighting's head off. I felt bad for him and Joe Devine. Oh my God! I was talking his head off. But anyway,
can this guy leave already?
Right. They're like, will he just go? Right. So, man, I think the axe community has it together when it comes to how they behave in the venues. I don't think anything would change from that.
Right. No, I wasn't really saying that.
I think as far I'm just going the whole gambit. And then when it comes to the sport or the of axe throwing in comparison to cornhole, I just feel like it's apples to oranges. You really can't compare the two because it's just different. You know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't expect somebody. While I can see some similarities, like I can see with darts, right?
Yeah.
So I can see similarities across any of these throw-in sports and stuff like that, but I can definitely see why it's run differently, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, cornhole is kind of cool. I think the cool part about cornhole is it's a reasonably cheap sport to do. It doesn't cost as much to get it going. Yes, there's some expense when it comes to the bags and the boards, but for the venue, the boards is a one-time expense. They just have to maintain them.
Mm-hmm.
The bags, again, for the most part, are a one-time expense, and they're reasonably cheap in comparison.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, the axe that and we'll talk about this in a minute, that I wind up currently having is a $350 value, right? There's no bags out there that I know of that are currently
I think
on
the
market.
most expensive I've seen was like $120.
Right. And so it is a cheaper barrier to entry. That is for sure. So I don't think it's really fair to compare the two. To me, it would be like saying I can see some similarities in football and basketball because they're both team sports. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty, they're so different. And the barrier to entry on basketball is so much lower than football, but they're different in their own way and they're good in their own way, right?
Yeah.
I think they're great in their own way. And by the way, I will be wearing axe throwing jerseys to all the cornhole events. I'm not changing that. Forget that. I don't know Misfits.
Mine just says Misfits, so we're good.
Yeah. So
the new one. So I finished 5th. Felt pretty good. Had fun. Definitely going to try to do more. I know the 15th and the 16th of December there's a regional tournament that's a singles, and if I think I've got them talked into it, but they have where you can BYOP, bring your own partner, and our bag should be here.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, he might get me into this one. Okay, I did enjoy watching it. I can see me getting into it and being competitive because that's who I am. But you know, again, I make no promises. I make no promises.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just make sure we got some epic stingers there. By the way.
Before we move on, I gotta mention that. So you guys know I'm not a drinker by trade, right? I've had a drink or two, right? You've seen most of the drinks I've had in my life on a recent episode. I tried this thing called Epic Stinger, right?
Yep.
It didn't taste like alcohol at all. It was like just juice.
It was very good.
Now, Epic Stinger is equivalent is the Bee's Knees.
Yep.
There's a drink called the Bee's Knees, the Prohibition thing. That's the equivalent to it, right? I had to ask that question because I didn't know. And so if you're looking to make something similar to it, that's what you would find. That's the closest thing I was able to see online, right? The drink is delicious. It is a juice. It does not taste like alcohol. That is a drink that I believe, if we decide to do another show, I've got to have it.
We got to make it?
Yes.
All right, I'm down.
Speaking of another show, I ran into, a fan of ours. Jimmy!
I was about to say, shout him out.
Jimmy Grindle. Only Axis. You got to check him out.
Yep.
We were at a venue, PLS, right?
We'll get to that.
Yep. And he let me know. He said, hey, one of my favorite shows was the drinking show when you guys were just playing games. And the Jesus Piece.
I think
everybody loves Jesus Piece.
I think that's everybody's favorite show so far.
And I'm cool with doing it again.
Oh yeah.
This time I'm gonna try to pace myself a little bit better because you got me good in that first one.
Hey.
That was not lemonade. And I'm telling you, so I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Yes, me too.
I will get my revenge. Okay. Yep. I'm not going out like I did last time. Okay. And the next time I do not play the game, and I'm gonna make sure I do not play the game until the time comes. We're gonna play a version of Call of Duty.
Okay.
So I don't know which Call of Duty is on the game console right now, but we're gonna find one. I'm gonna download it before that day comes.
Yep.
And we're gonna play Call of Duty while we drink.
I'm ready. Call of Duty's my game.
Now, in between time, we gotta find a drinking game for Call of Duty. That means when something happens, you gotta take a shot.
Take a shot. Yeah. We could do a 1v1. Do a little 1v1 battle.
No. He's gonna crush me because I know you play Call of Duty.
Oh my god. Yeah, I do.
I
literally played before I came over here, but
I will play a couple rounds of warm up with you 1v1. That way I get used to it. But we gotta have a drinking game at some point. So,
all right, I'm down.
If you guys know what's a good drinking game we can play via Call of Duty, you gotta let me know, okay?
Yeah, okay.
And then what it is, we'll take our shots. Also, if you guys got drinks in mind that you have in mind that you think would be a great drink to do, holler at your boy. Let us know so we can start putting it away so we can come in with the full bar. And you're going to find out I ain't going out like a sucker.
That's
like
right.
Last time. And I finally saw the video of me on the floor, apparently, for the first time, by the way, last night. That was terrible.
Yes.
That was terrible.
Yes.
You are a terrible human being.
Hey.
You caught me at my lowest moment.
So yeah, and then I brought you back up, baby. Hey Brandon, thank you for watching and joining in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so still on recap. So your weekend.
Oh man. So my weekend started on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Thursday, as you know, I've been throwing the heavy rotation axe.
Yep.
Right? It's a King, the heavy rotation handle. I threw it and it broke. It shattered. It just snapped right off, right? And mind you, this is the axe that I was been throwing this past season.
Yeah, but you've been throwing with a while.
That's right. So I finished up the spring the summer.
The summer.
Going into
spring.
And I thrown all spring with it, getting it ready because I was going to perfect with that axe, 18-inch handle, and I have fallen in love with that 18-inch handle throwing, right?
Right.
And my heart broke when that axe broke.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because I was ready to go to PLS and do reasonably well. Now, when I say reasonably well, that means I got to get at least 2 wins, okay? I want to leave saying I'm at least 2-2.
Yeah.
I didn't go out in the first round kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. So for a lot of y'all that didn't know, Troy booked his flight and then got moved into the pro bracket. You might have been going into this. He was in the amateur. He booked flight and everything for amateur. And then he got notified that he was being pulled from amateur and going into the pro bracket, right. Which is huge. I mean, it changes a lot of things, you know. Were you I'll let you, explain that, but.
So I wasn't nervous. I was more excited because I wanted to get an opportunity to see if I really am on that level or did I just have a good season and it put me into that bracket. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was why I said good showing to me is saying at least I got 2-2 minimum. That means I did okay, right? I'm not at the top of the food chain, but I ain't at the bottom either, right? At least not for that day. That's what I felt like. So again, I'm shook because my favorite axe is broken.
Right.
But I'm not too bad because the last time I went to PLS, I threw a QA King, QA Fail King, and that's the bag, what I had in my bag. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take that as my backup. I'm going to go and take it and I'm going to throw it that and just do the best that I can.
Right.
When I got into the venue, I did get a little nervous though. When I got there, I got a lot of nervous because I started seeing the names come into the room. The Divines, the Nightings, the Tiscos. You know what I mean? All of the names started walking in and I'm like, oh my God. Yep. Here I am with my backup axe thinking I'm going to do something with these guys. I am in trouble. I had all of 30 minutes to throw with this axe to get warmed up. I'm nervous. So what did I do? I bought a brand new axe.
That's right.
An axe I never threw before and said, you know what? I got to do something special. I got to go and I got to get myself an axe. So I'm looking at the different vendors that's there.
Yep.
And I'm a little worried. I don't want to get it because a lot of those guys had the thin handles in it, and I'm not a thin handle guy. I want a little more thickness to the handle. So I'm just like, okay, I'm a little worried. But as we got closer to the event, Mirrored Edge showed up, and he laid out his spread.
Shout out to Travis at Mirrored Edge.
Yeah, so he lays it out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I think I might have found my vendor. So I go through. He's got a number of axes that are just calling my name. And 2 in particular stood out. He let me go throw on the practice board real quick, just a couple shots, so I could see how they felt. And I settled on one of them. And then at this point, that axe I have never thrown in competition is now going to be my battle axe, right?
Yeah,
this is the one I'm going to war in. And I'm a little now. I'm not as nervous anymore, which you think I should be because I haven't thrown before.
Right.
But I'm really excited, not only to compete with the best of that day for sure, but I got a new axe. I got to see how this thing throws.
Right.
It's a recurved edge. You know what I'm saying? King. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 19-inch handle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this thing, right? So hey, son, go to my to my van and grab it. It's right there on the passenger side. Go.
A producer.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I was excited to throw it. But nerves started settling in again. Because as you stated, I booked my flight and everything based upon the amateur tournament.
Yeah.
Amateur tournament supposed to start at 9:00. And so I figured, hey, I'll go in, get started at 9. I bought the latest flight leaving that day, which was at 7. So I said, okay, 7:50 is the time I'm supposed to leave. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll be done long before that time comes. I bought my flight and everything. Life was good. A day or two before the event, they say, hey, wait, we're going to move you up
to the pro. Yeah.
Again, I'm like, all right, cool. They're going to move me up to the pro. This is going to be dope, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous because I'm like, wait a minute, what if I don't get out in time? So I reached out and I asked a couple people, said, hey, you think I should try to change arrangements and stuff? They go, no, because the melee is supposed to start at 7, so you should be done long before that.
Yeah.
So I get to the event. I show up probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock at this point because I know that means they should be pushing through the amateur bracket pretty good.
Yeah,
at this point.
definitely.
So I'm going through the amateur bracket and I'm watching everybody play. Kudos to them. Shout out to them. Garrow won. Caitlin Garrow.
Yep.
She won that.
And so, Ashlyn, it was all girls final.
Yeah, it was an all girls final.
Yep.
That's something I had never seen before, by the way. An all girls final. Like, I'm not knocking it. I was just surprised in a good way.
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap, these girls are throwing. They were kicking. The boys clubbed my ass. They were kicking.
That's right. Yeah, so, they did really well.
So I said, okay, cool. So we in there, and I'm watching this tournament drag on, and that's because there's roughly just about 90 people in this tournament, and that's why it's dragging on. It's not because they were doing something wrong. It's just a lot of people was there.
Yeah.
So they're going about 90 people they're trying to get through, and now it's getting a little long in the tooth, and I'm getting nervous because I know I have to be out of here by 6:15.
Yeah.
In order to get to the airport where I need to be. Bring it around. So I know I have to be at the airport by. There we go. Thank you. This is the new boo, cascaded with the sheath. Yes, I am mixing brands. Okay. Yes, I have the Mirrored Edge axe. Sorry about that. I have the Mirrored Edge axe, and I have the Cascadia sheath. Okay, look, I'm not getting sponsored by these guys. I like what I like. All right. I like the sheath and I like the axe. I'm the same guy that will wear Reebok and Nike until they start giving me a sponsorship deal. I'm wearing what's comfortable. Okay. Great sheath. Great axes by Cascadia, but Mirrored Edge was the one that was available. I would have bought a Cascadia axe, but he wasn't there. So
Kyle wasn't.
If he was, I didn't see him. So
he might. I don't know if he was there or not either. If he was, he might not have brought any axes either.
I didn't see him, but he might have been there. Like I said, there was a bunch of names in there, and there was a bunch of people in there. And needless to say, I think this thing is beautiful. I'm a very simplistic person. I don't need a lot of flashy colors, but this one I like the color scheme on the thing.
Yeah.
It fits me, very earth tony, and it's a little heavy, but I like that extra weight.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I like that extra weight. I think it helps me with the balance, and the recurve gives me a lot of forgiveness. So whenever I do throw, it's not going to smack the board. Yeah. I do believe at some point I will try it from 15 feet, and I think it's going to give me some more forgiveness again, not to smack the board if I undertow a little bit. But again, I am excited. Mirrored Edge, Travis. Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate the assistance on the purchase there too. By the way, as far as conversation from Mr. Grindle, letting me know that hey, I might have made a good choice there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So anywho, like I said,
I think you made a great choice. Yeah, I've got one of their big axes, so.
So anywho, I'm getting nervous, right? Because it is now getting closer to 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait a minute, we got 50 plus people
in the pro
bracket.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be done by 6:15?
Right.
So people's like, yeah, the pro bracket usually goes pretty quick. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, no problem. Problem comes in around 2:30. They're still playing the amateurs. Oh crap! I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna be able to play the rest of those games and be done by 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I already know, whatever it is, I got to do the best I can and then get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So I go through the bracket. First couple games looked a little rocky. Getting used to the new axe, did well, and I make it through the first round. I survived. I won the first round, no problem. Second round, I have to admit, that was more strategic. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my opponent kind of dropped the ball. He underestimated me. I don't think he knew who I was. And he did not strategically do what he should have done with the kill shots, which left the door open for me to win the game. And we could always talk about axe strategy, but let's be honest, the strategy is going completely out the window next season. So,
yes.
So anyway, his strategy might have been a little off, and it cost him the game. I get into round 3, and I'm playing Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
Now Sebastian owes me one because I beat him and put him out at the last
at Virginia Beach.
In Virginia Beach. So he owes me a beatdown. He definitely took it personal.
Yeah.
So we go to play. First game, he drops a 64 on my head. Like it was ugly. 64. I'm like, Sebastian, what has gotten into you? And he looked at me with such ruthlessness. I'm like, there's another one coming. I'm like, what the hell? And he almost did it.
Oof.
Because the very next game, 63. He dropped a 64-63 combination on my head. Now, I was one shot away from making it going into overtime for the on the 63. It was only being 55-63.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I was disappointed in myself because I felt like as good as I was throwing the time, this axe felt like it was second nature in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the bullseye with the low game was just on point, and I felt like the kill zone was like, I felt like everything was just easy. And I was like, I don't know if it's because you know how you play down the competition.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like in a way I was playing up to the competition.
Right.
And so I was like, man, these guys make me, confidence. I'm up here. I'm excited. I'm doing okay. So, but I'm upset with myself for not putting up at least a better fight.
Right.
I know it was 64-63, but I still feel like I should have put up a better fight.
Mm-hmm.
And had I hit that kill shot, it would have been a better fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I was capable. So being disappointed in myself, dropped to the B bracket. Immediately they called my name, and I tried to redeem myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that I did. The very first game, I looked at the guy when he came over to him, and I apologized to him when he got over there. When he got over, I said, I'm sorry. He goes, what? I said, I'm going to do it to you. Right? And then I dropped the 64 on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was my first official 64 on paper. I had an unofficial one in a tournament, but this was the first one on paper, right, in the app.
That's right.
And so I got the 64. I dropped it on his head. It felt good. It didn't feel any anxiety whatsoever. It was just like dropping it on his head.
Right.
Like, I don't know why you walked over here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you ever play sports, lose a game, and be like, I wish I had one more chance. I want to get after him. Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I got my opportunity to jump right back in the lane. I was ready to go, and poor fella got smoked. Now, the worst part of that is that I posted the 64. I didn't black out his name. I realized that now because his scores are posted there, and he didn't do particularly well.
Yeah.
And I feel like I embarrassed him a little bit, and I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Looking back at it,
I think
that's my one regret. Is because when I posted, I didn't mind posting my 64, but I didn't realize that I was crapping on another thrower. If that makes sense. And that was not my intention.
Yeah, I think it gets...
Nobody said anything about it, by the way. I just noticed it when I saw the post again.
I feel like when everybody gets one, though, and they take a picture, most of the time the other person scores up there.
Yeah, I got it. But you
sometimes, some people do kind of put their axe over it or anything like that to help.
I think the people who've gotten multiple are aware of it consciously.
Yeah.
So they do black out the other person. But when you get that rookie one and you get it,
of course.
Just put it up there. And whoever the fourth tap is that you're playing against, his name is in the record books and you're just showing it to everybody. I beat his ass!
Yeah. So you did that. You did good. What did you finish? Top 16?
Yeah, I think it was top 16.
Yeah,
now,
so that's good.
This is where somebody's going to think, I'm throwing shade at the guy. I'm not throwing shade. But I had to shank my last game. I was perfect through 7. And then my alarm goes off to tell me if I don't get out of here, I'm going to miss my flight.
Yeah.
So now I got to make a choice. Do I try to buy another flight or just throw this game and get out of there? Ultimately, what did I say I needed to do? At least go 2-2. Let me know that I'm capable. Mm-hmm. And then wait and see if the circuit points, how they hash out. And if the circuit points hash out and I make worlds, great. If it don't, I'm throwing qualifiers. If I only went 1-2 or 0-2, I would know I'm in and over my head. I just need to wait till next year and get better.
Right.
I had already won 3. I was 3-1 going to that last one. I was perfect through 7. And I'm looking at it. I'm up 2. And at this point, the alarm goes off. And I'm like, I've done everything I needed to do. I've proven it to myself. And I shank them. So I can get out through a 4. I think a 5 and I missed. I literally was missing on purpose.
Right.
Because at this point, I got to go.
Yeah.
And so Do I think I would have won the whole thing? Heck no. Because the person that I played against, his next game, his opponent dropped the 63-62 combination.
Yeah.
I probably would have been the victim of that myself. I cannot tell you that I would have gone on farther than that. But I did what I needed to do for my own personal confidence to feel like I can compete.
Right.
So if I don't make it on circuit points, I'm definitely going to do a
qualifier and
now,
try to get in.
I got a chance with circuit points though, because I'm somewhere near the cusp. But like I said, it just depends how the cookie crumbles there.
Right. So yeah, that was.
But that was a long-winded version of my weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what happened.
But yeah, so that was our weekend recap. Both did good in our respected events that we did. We'll have some more events coming up. I know I might try to get in another cornhole tournament, possibly Friday. Hopefully my bags will get here. And I can get in a couple more events. So, we talked earlier this week to come up with 3 things to kind of ask each other and just see their responses. So I've come up with a couple. I don't know if you came up with a couple or not.
I always got something.
Probably not. Yeah. You can just leave the Facebook up.
Yeah, I'm just
sharing the link. Yeah. So, and if anybody has anything they want us to talk about or hear what we have to say, drop it in the comments. Drop it in the chat. Let us know, if you think pancakes are better than waffles and you want us to talk about it. Just let us know. We will discuss it. We'll talk about it. That's what we're here for, man. We're here to have fun. We're here to... This is what we enjoy doing. So, this weekend, there was a lot of controversy.
Uh-oh.
And within that controversy came a 4-letter affiliation that is not getting very nice things said about them right now.
Who we talking about?
The NCAA. Let's go ahead and break it out. I was watching a lot. I watched Pat McAfee the other day, and he was talking his and he went off on them, and I agree. He said a lot of things, man, that they're power hungry, and I know we probably shouldn't talk about the NCAA. They might come after us on here, but you know what?
I ain't in college. What
I know, right?
I'm talking all the time. If I talk about Waddle, which is the sport that I am heavily involved in, shout out to Waddle, I love you,
Mario,
and I'm heavily involved in, and they can keep me out of events. You don't think I'll talk to the NCAA? I ain't going to school.
True, but so they had their playoff votes. So yes, so it was Alabama. Who are the other 3? I can't even.
I think it was Oklahoma, wasn't it? No, I know it was.
It was Alabama,
Michigan.
Yeah.
Shoot.
It was Ohio State.
And and Texas.
Texas. Yep, that's right, Texas. I should have looked this up.
Yeah.
So those were the 4. You had Florida State, who was out of it, and you had Georgia, who was out of it. Which, respectively, I think Georgia should have been out of it.
Yeah, of course.
Alabama, I think, should have been out of it.
Absolutely.
Florida State was undefeated, and they played an SEC team in a dominant and powerful LSU that had some wins too. Yeah. And it was not a close game.
So this is how I feel about that, right? On paper, I do believe Florida State, being undefeated from a Power 5 conference, should have gotten in.
Yep.
But I also think Florida State crapped on themselves. Why? Because they spent so much time talking about how weak their competition is. They spent so much time talking about how the ACC needs to improve and get more funds and do all this other stuff. So they hurt themselves. Because what they should have been doing was saying, we have a great division. We have a strong division. We got teams that can put up points like the Tar Heels, and Duke is surprising people and getting wins and doing some stuff. And Clemson has perennially been good. Obviously, they had a down year this year.
That's right.
They should have been hyping up their competition so that way others would start to see them a little differently.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, you telling everybody you playing weak competition, and then you want to be rewarded for a perfect season. So, yes, should they have gotten in? Absolutely. But I think you also are a victim of your own mouth.
Yeah,
and
I think
that your starting quarterback is down.
Yeah, I think that they should also expand it. They need to expand it to at least 8, maybe 16. Yeah.
What I don't understand is how is it that they only have 4 teams, but yet the second tier of Division One, the 1AA, they got a full 24-team playoff.
I mean, honestly, it should. I don't know. 24 would be a lot.
It would be a lot. But my point is that they can do it.
Yeah.
They've done a 24-team playoff. Why are you telling me that the big boys, the FBS, can't do a full-blown playoff and get some teams in there instead of cherry-pick Alabama? Because no matter what Alabama does, if they got at least one loss, that's all they got, they getting in.
Yeah.
They can lose the SEC championship, but they got one loss, they still Alabama, we got to put them in.
Yeah.
Alabama it's the Alabama invitation. You know what I mean?
That's right, yeah.
And so I feel like when it's all said and done, I'm not saying they're not a good squad. Obviously I'm a Tar Heel guy, so I have no dog in the hunt. So I'm telling you, I feel like it makes no sense why this playoff hasn't already been expanded. The format is already there for you to do it. You've already seen in the FCS they can do it. They've been killing it, doing it now. Again, 24 teams is a lot, but they've been doing it. So don't tell me it's the student athlete because you're telling me their grades don't matter as much as the kid from Ohio State?
Right. Or Florida State.
Or Florida State. Right. Like I said, that's bogus. So you've been just had a playoff in place. The structure is there. You can still have your bowls. It's just maybe the quarterfinal is the Outback Bowl. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? You can still have your version
still have
of
the bowls. Yeah. Each round could be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what that means is teams that win 6 games, you might not be in the playoffs, and therefore your season is over. You don't get a bowl game.
Right.
You got to win and get there.
Yeah.
So guess what? And so there's only some money off the table. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody ain't going to get it. The Meineke Car Care Bowl is probably not going to get played this year because it ain't a part of the bowl system.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of the first round games. You get one of
I was about to say they could do one of the first, but
get this done.
definitely.
Like that wasn't right. So that's question 1. What you got for me? What's question 2?
Well, you have what was one of yours? We'll go back and forth.
Okay. Question number 1 for me. Are you ever going to shave the beard?
I have before. It was a little while ago, like maybe a year ago. I did it. Yeah. I can.
There's a picture there somewhere.
I think I do have one. So, all right. So, I'll just go into it. So, a buddy of mine, we put a bet on a Carolina NC State because I went to NC State. He's a huge Tar Heels fan, Wolfpack Nation, all day long. Okay. So we put a bet.
Go ahead. You used to lose. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but how was that football game the other week? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Drake. I'm sorry. I had something in my throat there. So. Anyway, we put a bet out. I lost. I had to shave, and I left the Super Trooper stash. So I had the stash, and it came down right to here and just stopped. And my barber that I went to, he was dying laughing, dude. He could not hold it together. He's trying to trim it up, and he's trying to line it up, and he is just laughing. And then he gets done, and he steps back, and he just loses it. And so he spins me around and he lets me look in the mirror, and I was just like, oh my God. So I go to work the next day and they lose it, man. And then sure enough, I see my buddy because we work together. He comes walking in. His is the same way too. And we just looked at each other. So then the next day we came in, we had Super Trooper uniforms on, and like we're walking through. And and then I got tired of it, so I shaved it all off.
No.
Yeah. I've done a lot of different things with it.
I could not picture you without the beard.
I did one where I shaved the mustache and everything and just went full like down here like Amish.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And I did one where I basically shaved everything off and just
something where we do some kind of facial hair challenge.
Or we just go both first of the year, just first axe tournament we do.
No, I got a double chin I'm trying to hide right now.
I mean, I do too, but first axe tournament, we both go in there just baby face. Clean.
Ooh, I feel like I'm gonna look like a pedophile or something like that. I'm not sure.
Like he just said, our new duel's names.
I saw Nick Doan came in. He's got a new series that's starting on YouTube.
Yes.
Hey Nick, has that dropped yet? The series that or the show, has it dropped yet? Let us know. Hey, definitely say something about that.
Yeah, let us know because I know he was talking about it at PLS or not PLS.
I saw the post.
I saw the post too, but he was I talked to him a lot at Pro-Am, yes, about it and all the stuff he was doing, and
I'm excited.
You and me both.
Yeah. By the way, I got a friend of mine from high school. He is in a whole bunch of Tubi movies.
Really?
Yes, I did not realize he had so many features. Goes like C-Dub. Right? I did not know he had so many features. I've got a whole bunch of binge watching to do on Tubi just to watch the movies. And the Tubi movies are the most entertaining movies you're ever going to watch because the acting is usually terrible.
Right.
Now, I can't say he's a bad actor. He's actually a pretty good actor. I ain't surprised. I mean, he's good. But I'm talking about Tubi as a whole. They're well known for their lack of
right.
It's like a YouTube on their phone. But
we can definitely make something up with the facial hair.
I gotta watch some of his movies.
Yeah.
All right. What's the next question?
Let's see. Dang, I kind of lost some of them. Oh, so there's been a couple trailers released for some new video games. I know you're not big into them.
I saw that.
Yes. So since you saw it, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I'm not a huge video game person anyway.
Because I was going to go somewhere different with this question, but
go ahead.
You go ahead. Thoughts first.
So I'm not a big video game person. I do like the graphics. I like the storylines behind a lot of the stuff. If I was going to play a game, I probably would play something like a race car game.
Mm-hmm.
I would play maybe a football. I typically don't play a lot of the sport games. Like I said, I play because my son plays. I might play a first-person shooter style game. GTA never really appealed to me, but I like the clips that people play whenever they.
So most of those clips are just from mods, which are on PC. So I've grown up playing games, and that's what I do and what I've done. So this trailer and this release is probably going to be one of the biggest game releases in history.
Which one's that?
GTA 6.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people really pushing it, though. I've seen the videos and trailers on it.
That's because
the graphics look good, though.
It's been 5-6 years since the last one.
I just don't like how much these games be costing. I'm not saying that they're not worth their money, and people, these developers deserve to get paid. Don't get me wrong. But I don't, like, for instance, there's a new Madden that comes out every year. Mm-hmm. A new 2K that comes out every year. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why can't you be like Fortnite, where they just keep updating and updating and updating? And then people going to pay so much for the skins?
Right. I was about to say, Fortnite's biggest thing is their in-game purchases.
I got it.
That's how they've gotten. But then they also did come out with an actual game. But the actual game was only like $20. Like, you could buy it in the store. So it's only $20, but still.
So what I'm saying is you get a 2K. You charge me $100 for it. If you're $60, depending upon the version you get.
Yeah.
You charge me out the wazoo. Knowing in a few months when the draft comes, it's gonna be a whole new version that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
And you're gonna charge me the same $200 or $300.
I think it's just to be able to pay everybody. I mean, you got to think about it. I know the players that are in it get paid. Like, they get a little bit of change. Like,
I know there's some percentages. I don't know if it's like a set dollar amount.
Yeah, I don't know either, but still
different, because this is ridiculous. That you got these games, and the only time anybody can really play them is when they're outdated, and you get them in some type of gaming bundle that'll let you just keep streaming and you play a year-old game. And I'm like,
most people are buying them,
man.
Left and right.
Yeah, but 2K, I get one every 2 years. Every 2 years I get one.
I used to be where I'd get one every year, but I've gotten to the point where I wait.
Man, I'm the same way every 2 years. So I got 22. I can get another one till 24.
Yeah, I haven't gotten.
24 already came out.
Mm-hmm. It's been out.
We haven't even made it through 23.
Yeah,
Who's the cover athlete?
Josh Allen.
No wonder he sucks right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so that GTA 6 is gonna looks good. But what I was gonna pull that in with is, it made me think of Waddle.
Yes, we need to act on video game. Next question.
No, that would be so boring, bro.
No, they gotta bring back the Wii.
Now the Wii would be pretty cool to play it on. Yeah, they have a lot of games on it, but.
Waddle. We Waddle,
yeah. But so what I was gonna say is, you know, these people are putting in the time and the effort to build these games and boost these games. Fortnite just did a huge one where they went back to OG map, which was like the original, and then they now just switched and did a whole new map, new movements, new guns, new, like they literally
that's why I like Fortnite,
changed the game completely.
The game's gonna come around.
But my thing with that is, right, so Waddle's doing the same thing. And it's interesting because, you know, everything...
What do you mean Waddle's doing the same thing? I'm confused. What is Waddle doing that Fortnite's doing?
Changing everything up. They're basically going clean slate and starting with a whole new game. Fortnite and Waddle are.
You saying
right?
Like,
yeah,
that's
and
to put those together. But
it is, but yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But it was interesting to see top players like your number one streamers and Fortnite pros compared to Waddle pros, and how the Fortnite pros were very against it at first. Mm-hmm. They wanted the OG to stay. They wanted this to stay. They wanted this. Game came out. They started playing it. Now they're in love with it. Mm. So it's like, is that how we're going to be when we go to the, you know, new rules, new system after a couple months, maybe a couple seasons? Is it going to be, are we going to be in love? Or is Waddle going to, after 24, are they going to have to do a reboot and go back to OG Waddle?
So
big bulls, big kills. Could you imagine?
Is Waddle 18 or 17?
I'm not 100% sure on the actual date for Waddle.
I think Waddle was 2018.
It was either 17 or 18. I'm not 100% sure.
My crack staff, can you Google that for me?
Because I think I want to say there was one in 17 because I do remember seeing it. I remember seeing on YouTube there was one for the 2017 champion.
Right,
anyway,
so here's my thing. Waddle.
Right.
I think yes, it is a little too much too fast. I think they could have paced the changes, laid them out like a city planner, and said, "Hey, over the next 3 years, these are the changes that are coming down the line." Right. And I think that would have been a smoother transition. Mm-hmm. My concern with Waddle versus say Fortnite had a strong base in its gaming.
Yeah, right.
They had millions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And there's a lot of revenue tied up in it. So
yeah,
they're kind of one of those things almost too big to fail kind of thing.
Yeah.
Waddle on the other hand, when did it start?
It won't show up for some reason, but
what you waiting for?
Fortnite is gonna stop updating after a while because if it's failing.
Okay, I got it. So there you go then. So he just said, and those who didn't hear it, Fortnite is actually on the verge of stopping the updates because they're actually failing. So never mind then. Waddle and Fortnite is in the same vein then.
Right.
What's happening is all these extra changes, but here's the thing. Fortnite, like any video game, has its run.
Oh yeah.
Everything doesn't have a Madden level run, right? Madden is as an anomaly that it just keeps going. 2K is an anomaly; it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know, there was plenty of video games that came and went. Remember NBA Jam?
Well, NCAA football, paintball. Right. There's a whole bunch that we can list off.
A lot of them that came and went. They had a nice little run. What my concern is with Waddle is it's still technically a new business. And what do I mean by that? Most businesses, what do we see? The increments when they fail. First year, third year, year 7.
Right.
Those are the years that you're expecting the biggest turmoil, and they don't.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, Waddle is in year 7 or going into year 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned you may have jumped the gun on the amount of changes that you should have made.
Yeah, could. Yeah.
Will I go into optimistic? Absolutely. I'm gonna go
and try. Of course.
Did I push back early? Absolutely. You guys know on this show I have had said my piece about what I think about the changes and the new rules. But going into the new year, I absolutely will do my best to compete. My concern with Waddle is how do you maintain the growth of the sport? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know how much support the venues get. Like they don't get free stencils, they don't get discounted stencils at this point. I heard they removed the discount for it. Mm-hmm. It's not a display axes that you can put up and say, hey, here's the display of our axes or whatever. Even if it's just plastic versions of them, displays of our axes, and then if they get sold from your venue and using your promo code, you'll get a cut. Tie them in. Like, how do you support the venue? The throwers, we've heard it on and seen it on all the forums where they say, look, you're not making money, you're not going to make a living throwing axes. This is an expensive hobby. And that's what it is. And we do it for the love. We know we're going to spend more money than we're going to make. Shout out to PLS, by the way, because they give great payouts. And I know they're not making money hand over fist because they're giving it back. Right? And I get that may not necessarily be a sustainable business model long term unless they get some heavy sponsorships. Right? So I don't know how that's going to work. But, and this is and because of that phrase, I don't know how this is going to work. I tread lightly. Because there's somebody I'm hoping that has a better business mind than me. Yeah. That is figuring out how do we keep it going. Because my concern again is you're making too many changes too fast, and then are you putting the right people in charge? Right. Are the right people out front for the right reasons? Like, I don't know much about the commissioner. She seems like a nice young lady. So I won't even pretend to throw shade. But who's in charge? What are they doing? How vocal are they going to be? Right. What is the new regime? What does their first 100 days look like? What are they going to do that's going to keep the athlete? I can see keeping the athlete engaged by changing the board, so you can help that. Right. But what are you doing to keep the venue engaged? Because if it's not for the venue, you don't have the athlete. Right. Because they don't have anywhere to throw. Where are they going to go? Exactly. Because we've seen the venues dropping left and right. And I know it's not Waddle's job to keep them open, but the sanctioning fees and the membership fees and everything that are going, what does that get a venue? Why would a venue say, I want to be a part of you outside of an app that is a little unreliable, that constantly has issues? Even with the new updates, it looks really cool, by the way. But there's still some issues because it's still working out the glitch. Still working it out. Because if I go that's going to be everything. But of course. But when I go to search a person, sometimes it doesn't pull up. It'll kick it back to the leaderboard, and then it's kind of a little weird and wonky. So there's still some stuff that kinks have to be worked out. But I expected it, especially with such a massive update and change, and it was for the better. It looked a lot cooler, a lot. It's really nice to see how your points came about.
So we got. So that's what Sebastian asked. What was your favorite match at PLS?
My favorite match at PLS is actually against Sebastian. The game that I lost. Because I saw Sebastian be ruthless to kick my head. Yeah. But that game, knowing that I was one throw away from making it competitive on a high scoring game of a 63. Right. Because normally in the games that I have been associated with, if one person has 63, the other one's already lost long before we got there. Yeah. That's why that person felt confident to go up because they were already killing them. Like when I got my 64 in the next game, it was easy to do. I was blowing the guy out. Yeah. Even if I missed, I wasn't going to lose. Right. Yeah. So that game was competitive up until the end. He hit his. We both had 55 going in to throw 10. Mm-hmm. And he hit his. I missed mine. It was what it was. But to me, that level of competition for me, because I'm not used to competing on that level, but I will say that event as a whole let me know I can compete on that level. And do I think I can win? Yes, I do. I'm a little delusional. I think any given day I can step up and do my thing. But my favorite match was a Sebastian match, in large part because it was a nice little litmus test. Mm-hmm. And despite losing, I still feel like I can compete.
Yeah, anybody else that's in there and watching and viewing right now, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to find out, like Sebastian did, and we'll get to him. Yeah. So.
Okay.
What do you say?
2017 was when Waddle came about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So like I said, my concern is just a little too much too fast. I'm hoping next year will be a surprise success. Keep people engaged. People won't get bored or feel confused by the sport. I'm hoping there's enough of us out there who are aware of what the rules are. And I'm learning there's a lot of us that don't because they failed in the test left and right. Yeah. But I'm hoping it will not have been, I'm hoping it's not over. That it's not on the way down. I'm hoping it's on the way up. And like I said, my concern again and it sounds crazy, was the straw that broke the camel's back was the 15-foot line.
Yeah.
Because you got axe makers like Mirrored Edge. They're not warranting these axes beyond that 12-foot line.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, look, you don't want to have rotations. I got no hopes for you. I can't help you.
Yeah.
So how much money are you asking the average thrower to invest
right.
with constant broken axes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like you didn't think about the average thrower at all. You
Yeah.
didn't. And I go back and say that constantly because the more I hear from people around, that's what I'm hearing, is the money that's going to get invested, having multiple axes. People who were a part of the pilot program saying about all the broken axes that happened. And then the venues themselves not necessarily feeling supported in this whole venture. So that's my concern, is Wattle treading on thin ice, which again, I love the sport. That's why I'm having a whole podcast about it.
Yeah.
So I'm buying axes, and doing my thing with it because I really do enjoy throwing. But like I said, I still have my concerns even as a fan.
Right.
Yep. Now it looks like we got a little longer too, so it don't look like we're going to be able to get to the rest of my questions. So we'll hold them over to the next show. But guys, it's been great being here. We don't want to run it too long. We've already been here an hour and a half. How long have we been going?
About an hour.
A little over an hour.
About an hour. Yeah,
So
I was about to say, it hasn't even been an hour yet.
So right at that hour. So we're trying not to make these shows run a little too long, but absolutely continue to comment, leave them in there after the show, and we will look at them and talk about what you want to talk about. And by the way, like I said, even with the criticism that we offer Wattle, make no mistake about it. Not only are we athletes within the sport, but we are truly fans of the sport and fans of the organization, and we want to see it thrive, right?
Yeah, we want to see it keep going.
Absolutely. So us giving pushback and our concerns, it's not us trying to bash the sport or throw it under the bus. It's our concerns because we don't want to see it fail. And again, we are trusting that the committee is doing its job, but at the same time, like any committee, they need to make sure they're hearing from the people.
That's right.
And not just a select few.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all reach out to us with anything you want us to talk about. Send us a message on Facebook, myself or Troy, or send it to us on YouTube. Yep. We'll be happy to talk about it, happy to answer questions.
Yep. And good luck to anybody who's waiting to see if you got in on circuit points.
Yes.
Hopefully that will come out soon. Like I said, I'm excited to see. Hopefully my name will get called. Hopefully I haven't ruined it with my conversation tonight.
Yeah, right. Next week we might have a big surprise.
Okay, all right.
So y'all be ready. Be watching for next Wednesday. And hopefully, if I get some time this week, I'll be posting some more content for you guys as well.
I've been waving this axe around the whole show, right?
Yeah, I know. You look like a weirdo.
I'm a little bit of a weirdo. But when I take this off, it's just like waving a gun around with no safety. You know what I'm saying? Just wondering. All right. Somebody answer that question for me. But that's the end of our show for this week. And we see you guys next week.
See you next Wednesday.
It's out,